What's up, guys? So, we have quite possibly the last bit of news from Motorsport Games. Uh, I wasn't going to cover this, but the only reason that I decided to is because, we've come this far, right? We might as well see this into the grave, okay? So, let's read the article by Mike Straw from Insider Gaming. Uh, Exclusive IndyCar game status up in the air at Motorsport Games. This should surprise no one, right? Except one guy, which I'll mention later. Only because I have to. I know some of you are not going to like it, but it is what it is. Yet another Motorsport Games property appears to be up in the air as concerns rising within the company about the status of the IndyCar game from the studio. According to multiple sources, up through the recently announced layoffs, many hadn't heard about the status of the IndyCar game. So yeah, they laid off a bunch of people. We haven't been shown anything new in months, one source tells Insider Gaming. More of the same. Like, we've been hearing this for the past couple years. It's just more of the same. Another added that it's been complete silence over the last few weeks. Again, how many times have we heard this, right? If it wasn't about NASCAR games, BTCC is pretty much done. Now this game is being suspended. There's been complete silence towards the team, and everything is at a standstill now after the layoffs, one person said. Insider Gaming was given new screenshots and an unreleased marketing teaser for the game was given back at the beginning of October. Okay, so I didn't even know about that. No, I'm not even going to look at that. The last that was relayed via various people at the Australian studio and other areas of the company was that the game's progress was quite far along, right? We've been hearing this for a year, that it's far along, and that they still expected a release in 2024 after being delayed out of 2023. After the layoffs were made official, that appears to no longer be the case according to multiple sources close to the game's development. We don't know what's going to happen, a person who's worked on the game said. We just don't know, and it's frustrating. Now, let me finish this before I say what I got to say. Insider Gaming has been told, similar to the NASCAR license that was recently sold to iRacing, the IndyCar license is also being shopped around by Motorsport Games. The top focus of the studio has been on Le Mans Ultimate, which, at last knowledge, was expected to be released in December. That said, there's been nothing to confirm that is still the plan after the company restructuring. How many times are you going to restructure? It's just... On Monday, it was announced that Motorsport Games lost the license for BTCC. Insider Gaming... I'm sorry, guys. Insider Gaming originally reported back in December 2022 that the BTCC game had all but been canceled despite the company's denial at the time. Motorsport Games is scheduled to hold its quarterly earnings call on Tuesday, November 7th. I guess that happened already. And where we'll hopefully get an update on the state of its remaining titles. Yeah. It's over. So, it's none of this is surprising to anybody, especially you guys. If you've been watching my channel, I've been telling you all along, it's not rocket science, right? Like, you all know. I don't think any one of you guys, maybe one or two out there, would be surprised by any of this, or were actually expecting to see that IndyCar game. They're saying it's suspended, so, but I mean, come on. They really they're shopping all their licenses. They're hoping somebody is dumb enough to hand over a decent amount of cash. iRacing, they paid a big sum of money uh, for the NASCAR title license because they really wanted to get the ball rolling. Um, and I think that for them, it just wasn't worth dragging things out any longer or waiting. You've seen how long it takes. Motorsport Games reminds me of, if you've ever watched a fight, right? If you're a boxing fan, you'll know what I'm talking about. You can, even if you're a much better fighter, if a guy is determined not to go down, no matter what you do to them, it'll go the distance or close to going the distance. Like a fight that should easily be won, a guy can just hold on and just make it last, and just through sheer willpower refuses to go down, and he'll still get his ass kicked. It'll still be a huge lopsided victory, right? But he's just refusing to go down, right? And that's what this company is. And I shouldn't even say that because they don't deserve this level of, like, I could actually respect that. So I shouldn't say that, but it does kind of remind me of that. Like, this company should have been dead a year ago, at least. And they've dragged things out. They've managed to just hold on by bullshitting people and lying and telling people they're restructuring and they're hiring and they're doing this and they're doing that and they're streamlining. You remember Dimitri Costco and all his bullshit. And, now you got the new CEO comes along, and he just took the baton and he's doing the same thing. New face, same old bullshit. But, yeah, it's over. It's just technically they're still alive and they're saying, oh, they're restructuring and doing. It's all over. It's in fact, even Captain Sleeveless knows it's over. He just released a video today talking about it, and I just gotta show one more time. I told you guys. You guys could. Some of you might remember this. Just listen.
I'm not going after community managers and even lead team developers on other projects. I know lead team developers over there that are working on the IndyCar game that I would put my full faith and trust in because they are extremely, extremely intelligent people.
Really? What? Why in the world would you put your full faith and trust into them? Where did you get this faith from? Ignition? Oh, it's a different guy. It's the same people. It's this Studio 390 whatever. You have 100% faith and all this complete total trust. How do you say something like that after everything we've seen? This is incredible to me. He cannot be this clueless. He can't be this fucking clueless. After everything he's seen, he's still pushing like, oh, these guys are good people. So what this is doing is when they start pushing pre-orders for the IndyCar game, that people are going to say, well, Captain Sleeveless told me that he has full faith in those guys. This is going to be different from what happened with Ignition and with what happened with this NASCAR DLC. He's trying to make it seem like it's just a handful of people that are responsible for all this, and that for somehow this whole group of guys that is working on IndyCar side of things is going to be different. He has his full faith in these guys. Anyway, I told you. Anyway, it's just a formality at this point. So that's pretty much it from Motorsport Games side of things. Yeah. So I hope not to talk about Motorsport Games ever again. I'm hoping this is the last time, and it's really just this is my ceremonial final nail on the coffin for these guys. They're shopping all of their licenses, and they're desperate. They're hoping somebody really dumb comes along and really hands over money. I wouldn't do it. This company's they're on life support, and they have been for a long time. I wouldn't give them a dime. I would just wait them out. Anyway, those are my thoughts. I look forward to your comments later.